Sri Lanka's hope of making the semis were dealt a massive blow at Chesterley Street. South Africa finally shook off their slumber and hunted the Lions down at the Riverside Stadium in Durham. Now, the Lankans face a dejected West Indies, who were dumped out of the competition by a dominant Indian side at Old Trafford. Jason Holder's men began their campaign in emphatic style, but have faded away with every passing game. The Sri Lankan attack is completely dependent on Lasith Malinga. However, the striking thing about this Lankan lineup has been the lack of quality spinners. Maybe it's finally time to give Jeffrey van der Sey a look in. The Windies batting hasn't done its job in this World Cup. There have been flashes of brilliance, but the big hitters have misfired too often, while the others have lacked the ability to bat situationally. Injuries have also hampered them, and now they aren't left with many options, so expect them to go unchanged against Sri Lanka. Shimron Hetmyer needs to come up the order. Although he has 250s this World Cup, he hasn't yet played a match-defining innings. He's come in with Windies under pressure and has been found out against quality bowling. In the game against Sri Lanka, the Windies might as well push him up at 3 and let him play his natural game. Sri Lanka's rebuild after this World Cup has to revolve around Avishka Fernando. The right-hander has featured in just 2 games, but his talent is there for all to see. The 21-year-old has been one of the few brighter spots in this Lankan campaign and should be earmarked as the one for the future. Let's look at the numbers now. The overall head-to-head stats don't give an overwhelming advantage to either side. However, in World Cups, the Windies used to dominate the Lankans, but not recently. The teams last met in a World Cup game at Guyana in 2007, where Sanath Jayasurya's 115 crushed the Windies in the Super 8s. Lasith Malinga was thought to be a spent force, and his inclusion in the World Cup squad raised a few eyebrows. But the slinger has silenced the critics with his amazing accuracy. First, he stopped a romp in Afghanistan with his deadly Yorkers, and then inflicted a shock defeat on the hosts. At Chesterley Street, he will be up against a familiar foe in Chris Gayle. The Universe boss started the World Cup with a swashbuckling 50 against Pakistan. His only other 50-plus score came against New Zealand, but overall he's failed to lead an inexperienced West Indies batting lineup. The Windies don't have anything to play for anymore, but a final battle between the slinger and the Universal boss is definitely a box office event. Both teams are reeling from losses, but West Indies should edge Sri Lanka out in this contest. The men from the Caribbean have a better batting lineup and will make merry against this fragile Lankan attack. Log on to Hotstar at 1:30 PM on Monday for all the live action from Chesterley Street.